Ambassador HFY clicked his mandibles in satisfaction as he reviewed the Galactic Council's unanimous decision. Humanity's expulsion from the Alliance had been swift and decisive, a mere formality after their latest diplomatic incident, involving the unauthorized colonization of 3 disputed systems. Primitives, he muttered, adjusting his ceremonial robes. They lacked the sophistication for galactic civilization. The Velthari had joined the Council 3 millennia ago and prided themselves on proper protocol. Humans, with their mere century of spaceflight, had proven themselves unworthy of the galaxy's most prestigious alliance. Their tendency toward aggression, their disregard for established territorial boundaries, and their insufferable optimism made them poor candidates for civilized discourse. The expulsion notice would be delivered within the solar cycle. Standard procedure dictated a grace period of 50 rotations for the species to acknowledge their removal and cease all activities in Council space. Most expelled races took decades to process the shame, but when the Council's messenger ship arrived at Earth's coordinates, they found empty space. Not just vacant, meticulously cleaned. No orbital stations, no debris fields, no trace of the sprawling industrial complexes that had surrounded the blue-green world. Even the planet's moon bore no signs of the mining operations that had been strip mining its surface just rotations before. Impossible, HFY breathed, staring at the holographic display. Where did they go? The answer came 3 cycles later, when long-range sensors detected massive energy signatures from the galactic rim, a region considered uninhabitable due to stellar instability and resource scarcity. Scout ships investigated and returned with disturbing reports. Humanity hadn't just left. They had vanished with their entire civilization intact, leaving behind only a single message beacon orbiting where Earth once was. Admiral Chen's weathered face filled the hologram as the message played to the assembled council. Behind her, the bridge of what appeared to be a massive vessel hummed with activity. "To the Galactic Council," she began, her voice carrying the crisp authority of a career military officer. "We received your expulsion notice. We also intercepted your preliminary discussions about it 3 months ago. You always underestimated human intelligence gathering." HFY's mandibles clenched. Impossible. Their communications were encrypted, with quantum-level security. "You've made your position clear," Admiral Chen continued. "You consider us too aggressive, too unpredictable, too human for your civilized galaxy. Very well. We accept your judgment." The camera panned, revealing glimpses of a command center that dwarfed anything in the Council fleet. Officers moved, with practiced efficiency between stations displaying star charts that covered regions the Council had never explored. But you've made a critical error in your assessment. You assumed we needed you. You believed that expulsion from your alliance would cripple us, force us into isolation and eventual decline. You thought we would beg for readmission. Admiral Chen's smile carried no warmth. Instead, you've freed us from your limitations. Your territories, your trade routes, your careful political boundaries, none of that matters now. While you've spent centuries maintaining the status quo, we've been preparing for something greater. The transmission shifted to external cameras, showing a fleet that stretched beyond the horizon. Ships of impossible size moved in perfect formation, their hulls gleaming with technologies the Council didn't recognize. Some vessels appeared to be entire cities, their populations visible through transparent sections. Humanity is no longer bound by your rules or constrained by your timid expansion policies. We're going where you fear to venture, beyond the galactic rim to regions you've declared impossible to colonize. We're taking our chaos, our unpredictability, and our insufferable optimism somewhere it can flourish. The display now showed stellar engineering on a scale that defied comprehension. Entire star systems were being modified, their planets relocated and terraformed. Structures that could only be described as artificial nebulae sparkled with the light of fusion reactors. We've already established 17 colony clusters in the void regions. Our population has tripled through successful negotiations with 3 independent species you've systematically ignored. Our industrial capacity now exceeds your entire alliance. Zexthai felt his breathing apparatus constrict. This was impossible. No species could expand so rapidly, especially not in the hostile environment beyond the rim. You expelled us because you thought we were dangerous, Admiral Chen said, her image now flanked by representatives of species the Council had never encountered, beings adapted to the extreme conditions of the outer galaxy. You were right. The final sequence showed weapons tests that turned asteroids to plasma and terraforming technologies that could remake worlds in cycles rather than millennia. But more disturbing were the living cities, the self-replicating factories, the generation, ships breeding entire populations as they traveled between star systems. We're not coming back, Admiral Chen concluded. Why would we return to your small, carefully managed galaxy when we have infinite space to explore? You've taught us that we don't need permission to be great. The transmission ended with coordinates, not to human space, but to regions so far beyond the galactic edge that the Council's charts showed only empty void. Impossible, Zexthai repeated, but his voice lacked conviction. The truth was undeniable. Humanity hadn't just accepted expulsion. They had used it as an opportunity to transcend the limitations of galactic civilization entirely. While the Council maintained their careful territories and ancient protocols, humans had disappeared into the infinite dark and built something unprecedented. 6 months later, when the first reports arrived of human expeditionary forces establishing contact with distant galaxies, Zexthai finally understood the magnitude of the Council's miscalculation. They hadn't expelled a problematic member species. They had released a force of nature that no longer recognized any boundaries at all. In trying to contain humanity, they had set them free to become something far more extraordinary than anyone had imagined possible. And now, as radio signals from human colonies reached them from impossible distances, the Council faced an uncomfortable question. In a universe where humanity was no longer bound by anyone's rules, who exactly had been expelled from what?